welcome back to Mariana Mas Books. My name is Mariana and today I am doing the 50 questions you've never been asked tag, which I believe was created for like a blog or something. I will put the link in the description if I find it. I saw it on Brian at Bookish channel, and again I thought it was great because it's a random question tag, and at the moment I'm just feeling more like filming tags. So I'm not going to do a huge intro this time. I'm just going to go straight to the questions. So question number 1 is, what is your favorite candle scent? I would say something that smells like Christmas. I'm not good with scents. I don't know scent names and stuff, but something that smells like Christmas. Question number 2, like a cozy candle, but not overly sweet. Question number 2, which female celebrity do you wish were your sister? Oh my gosh. Can I say a fictional character? Wait, no. I'm taking this question way too seriously and I need to give it a thought. So I'm going to think about it and put the picture up because it's a very serious question. And I can't think of something right off the bat. So the next question is, which male celebrity do you wish were your brother? And I do have an answer for this, kind of. I would like someone with the personality of James McAvoy to be my brother. Yeah, someone with the personality of James McAvoy, but not James McAvoy because I want him to be my husband. So, Question number 4, how old do you think you'll be when you marry? I don't plan on getting married. I'm 32 at the moment. Question number 5, do you know someone who is a hoarder? My ex's mom, she was a huge hoarder. Like, she had her garage filled with stuff and you barely had like a small place to walk inside the house. But other than that, no. Or other than her. 6, can you do the splits? No, I was actually a cheerleader in high school, but cheerleading here is not like cheerleader in the US. We were not popular or anything, and not a lot of people wants to go into cheerleading because it's not like in the US, right? So it's not like a popular sport. It's not even considered a sport. But it's not popular. If you're going into a team, you will go into soccer, probably. Like, that's the most popular. And then if not, you will do another ball playing sport. But cheerleading was not popular. So there aren't a lot of people that wanted to get into the team. So you didn't have to be like super flexible or anything. You basically, you just have to know how to dance and follow a routine, which is why I joined, because I love to dance. So no, I can't do the splits, and I go into the team anyway. So question number 7, how old were you when you learned to ride a bike? I think I was like 12. I think I was like 11 or 12. Question number 8, how many oceans have you swum in? I think 2, because we usually went to the beach either to Acapulco, which is in the west, or to Veracruz, which is in the east. 9, how many countries have you visited? So I have gone to the US, I have gone to France, I have gone to Spain, I have gone to Italy, I have gone to Germany, I have gone to the UK, like Great Britain, England. I have gone to the Czech Republic, and I think that's it. 10, is anyone in your family in the army? Nope, that's not really, no. Question number 11, what would you name your daughter if you had one? I don't have one. I don't know what I would name her if I did. Question number 12. What would you name your son if you had one? I don't have one, and I don't know what I would name him if I did. Question number 13. What's the worst grade you got in a test? I probably got like a 4 once in my lifetime, and when I was super young, and never again because I was a super nerd. I always got okay. So here we don't do grading system like there that you get straight A's. We do a numerical system, and the highest grade is a 10. So I always got straight 10s. Question number 14. What was your favorite TV show as a kid? I'm going to say The Ghost Writer. Question number 15. What did you dress up as for Halloween when you were 8? So this is a lucky question because I here in Mexico I've never dressed up for Halloween, just once in high school maybe, but just like for a party that someone threw. But now it's more of a big deal, Halloween, because we copy everything the States does. Like this culture of the US permeates all over the world, right? So it's Halloween is not a tradition in the US, but in the Mexico, but we are next to a US, who now it is. But when I was a kid, I never dressed up, never went trick or treating or anything, except when I was 8, because that I lived in Massachusetts when I was. I spoke about it in my previous video, and that year I dressed up. I went trick or treating, and I dressed up as a devil. Have you read any Harry Potter, Hunger Games, Twilight? I read 4 Harry Potter books, all Hunger Games and all Twilight, and when I was in high school, I was a huge fan of Twilight. 17. Would you rather have an American or British accent? I don't have either because I'm not from. I'm going to answer in Spanish. I would like to have an Argentinian accent. Question number 18. Did your mother go to university? Yes. Question number 19. Are your grandparents still married? My grandparents on my father's side, yes. My grandparents on my mother's side, no. Question number 20. Have you ever taken karate lessons? No. And actually, taekwondo lessons are super popular in Mexico. Every kid takes taekwondo lessons when they're younger. Most of my cousins take taekwondo. A lot of my friends took taekwondo. There are a lot of like Mexican medalists in taekwondo, but I never did because we are not a very sporty family. Do you know who Kermit the Frog is? Yes. What was the first amusement park you visited? It was an amusement park called Reino Aventura here in Mexico, which no longer exists. Now it's being replaced by Six Flags. Which language would you like to be fluent in? I would like, okay, so I speak French. I took French lessons, other than English and Spanish, I mean. I took French lessons a lot of years through high school, but then I stopped and I kind of lost it, and I wish I was fluent in French. I wish I would go back so I would get the French back. And 24, do you spell it gray with an A or gray with an E? I think with an E, and I wasn't aware that there were 2 spellings. 25, is your father bald? He's not. 26, do you know triplets? No. 27, do you prefer Titanic or The Notebook? Titanic. I love Titanic. Question 28, have you ever had Indian food? Yes, I love Indian food. It's one of my favorite international foods. And fun fact, it's very similar to Mexican food. I mean, I'm not going to get into it. Question 29. What's the name of your favorite restaurant? My favorite restaurant. I haven't gone into a restaurant in a long time, and I can't eat through my mouth because of my brain surgery, so I eat through a feeding tube. So I don't enjoy restaurants as I used to anymore. But my favorite restaurant used to be one called what was the name? I think the name was Spaghettini, and it was an Italian restaurant. 30. Have you ever been to Nando's? I don't know what Nando's is. 31. Do you belong to any warehouse stores? Is Costco a warehouse store? If so, Costco. 32. What would your parents have named you if you'd been the opposite gender? If I was the opposite gender, I would have been named Inigo in honor of Saint Ignatius, whose real name was not Ignatius but Inigo, and it's not because it's in Spanish or English. In Spanish, he's known as San Ignacio, but his name was not Ignacio, it was Inigo. Question number 33. What is your nickname? I don't have a nickname. Everyone calls me Mariana, and I don't like when people try to call me like Marianita, which we do that with names here in Mexico, where we shorten them. We use the little, like Marianita means little Mariana, or if your name is Anna, you will be called Anita, which means little Anna, or if your name is Daniela, then you would be called Danielita, which means little Daniela. I hate when people call me Marianita. I don't like it, so people usually call me Mariana. I only have two nicknames from two friends. One calls me Pinis, which is a play on piña, which is a pineapple, and that's a long story. It comes from high school, but she's literally the only friend that calls me that. And another friend called me Marianin because her name is also Mariana, and our friends used to tease us because we were the two Marianas. And there was this show called Bananas in Pajamas, and in Spanish the bananas were called Bananin and Bananon, and so they called us Marianin and Marianon. And I'm sorry, I said Marianin, I'm Marianon. So I called my friend Marianin and she calls me Marianon, but no one else calls me that. It's just between these two friends. I mean, between us. Who is your favorite person in the world? I'm going to say my parents and my sisters. 35. Would you, and that's if I'm not speaking of fictional characters, because sometimes I like fictional characters more than I like real people. 35. Would you rather live in the country or in the city? To be honest, I'm more of a city person. I like the country if I go for like a vacation and it's like nature and it's quiet, but I'm more of a city person. 36. Can you whistle? Yes, I can. 37. Do you sleep with a nightlight? I don't sleep with a nightlight, but I sleep with a lamp next to my table. 38. Do you eat breakfast every morning? Yes, I do, and I don't understand people that don't eat breakfast. I don't know how they can do it. And then, what medical condition do you have? We would be here all day. I have tumors in many parts of my body. I don't see with this eye. I don't hear with this ear. I can't feel with the palms of my hands. I have a problem with balance. I have many neurological issues. I have something called dysphagia, which means I can't swallow, which means I can't eat through my mouth, which means I have a feeding tube and I eat through a feeding tube because I can't eat through my mouth. That causes a whole other issues because my airways are always unprotected, so I get pneumonia and that kind of thing a lot. So that's why I had to take a lot of care from COVID. 41. How many times have you been to the hospital? A lot of times. I've had multiple surgeries and I go all the time for checkups and stuff. So yeah. Have you ever seen Finding Nemo? Yes, I have. Where do you buy your jeans? I guess either Costco or some other departments or some department store. I don't buy jeans a lot. I don't remember when was the last time I bought jeans. What's the last compliment you got? Maybe a comment in a video or a comment in my blog, in my actual real life work, or from a student or something. 45. Do you usually remember your dreams in the morning? I always remember my nightmares in the morning, and I have nightmares very often, and they are often related to my health, and they are often related to like being in surgery and that kind of thing, and I dream that very often and I remember it all the time. 46. What flavor tea do you enjoy? I don't drink tea because I can't eat through my mouth, so I don't drink anything, and even before I wasn't a super fan of tea, but if I were to drink tea, my favorite is chamomile. I'm just that basic. 47. How many pairs of shoes do you currently own? I think like question 48. What religion would you raise your children to practice? So I don't have children and I don't plan on having children, so I don't have to bother with that question. I was raised a Catholic. Question 49. How old were you when you found out Santa wasn't real? Oof, okay. I was about 6 or 7, 6 probably 6 years old. And people always freak out when they hear that because they're like, oh my god, how cruel your mom that they told you. And I'm here to tell you that to this day, I find, or not Santa, because we don't do Santa here in my house, we do the three wise men, which is a custom here in Mexico, but it's the equivalent of Santa, except it's the three wise men and it's on another date, it's in January, no, but you know. So to this day, I still find that magical. I still get excited when it's Night of the Three Wise Men. I still write a letter to the three wise men, even though I know that the presents come from the parents. But my mom, when she told me that it was still magic. Just because they don't exist, it doesn't mean that the practice isn't magic. That you write your letter and that when you wake up, you have your presents there and you don't know how they got there, even though you know that it's your parents, but you still don't know when they got up to put the presents and when they bought them for you. And like that surprise, that magic is not lost. And she told me, you still have to write a letter to the three wise men every year. And if I thank her, she will say, oh, it's from the three wise men. So, and she told me, like, you will get presents every year as long as you live in this house, but you have to write a letter. So to this day, I write a letter. And even if we knew, my sister and I, we got so excited and we like got nervous that we couldn't sleep, and my mom would have to be like, you have to go to sleep because if not, the three wise men are not going to come, even though we knew that they were our parents. So the magic was still alive. And I don't know why people think that it has to be supernatural in order to be magic, and that once you know it's your parents, the magic is lost. And people are always like, oh yeah, my parents, they I don't know, my friends or people who knew until they were older, they're like, no, they like to keep the magic. And it's like, but did they keep the magic? Because yeah, you found out till you were older, but once you found out, the magic was gone. Whereas I found out when I was 6, but the magic has still been present since forever. So the magic is kept even though we found out earlier. And I could go on a whole rant about how magic is in the everyday and magic is real, but magic is not in the sense of like we see in movies. Um, but I'm not going to go into a whole rant because it's been 50 questions. But I could, but I'm not going to. But I could, but I'm not going to. The final question is, why do you have a blog, or in this case a channel? And it's because I like to talk about the books I'm reading, and currently I also like to talk about the tarot decks I'm using, and I like to talk to like-minded people. So if I talk about a book that I'm super passionate about, there will be someone who comments and maybe they are not passionate about the same book, but they're passionate about another book. And in real life, I don't know anyone who is as intense as I am with books. And for example, I have met people who are super fans of Tolkien. In real life, I don't know any friends, but in the internet, I do. So I like the internet because it puts you in touch with other like-minded people that you don't meet in real life. Those were the 50 questions. I have never been asked tag. And again, I'm not going to tag anyone, but if you want, you can go ahead and do it. I will see you on another video. In the meantime, I wish you happy reading.